I've done this a few times already, and thinking back, I'm not happy with the other times I've done it. I feel like I packed too much in and tried to say too much, so I'm going to try and dial it down a little bit this time. And just to show that I'm committed to backing off a little bit and not trying to say too much, the next slide is just going to be blank. I'm just going to waste a slide. I'm not going to try and make a point here or convey information. The next slide is a picture of my lovely wife. Like James, I felt compelled to put a picture of my lovely wife in Akureyri, Iceland, in a pedestrian-friendly street where you can also see a car in the background. They actually had a single lane for cars running down this pedestrian area. And so that's one of the options that we have for Fulton Mall on the table as part of the downtown planning process, right? These are the kinds of things that we're considering right now in the city for the mall. Well, you know that we have this process going on. Last summer, Joe Moore came to me and said, let's gather some information about what's actually happening on the mall. Let's count pedestrians. So we said, okay, I said, okay, we took it to the Downtown Association, PBID Partners of Fresno, and they funded a small study for my students and I to go down and count pedestrians as they passed the clock tower at Mariposa and Fulton Mall. 3 days in October, a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, we counted everybody who passed the clock tower and we surveyed a random sample of people who passed as well. What you're going to see next are the results of those counts. Oh, I forgot. Some of you know the results already, but if you don't, how many people do you think passed by the clock tower between 10 and 6 on a rainy Tuesday in October? Just shout it out. 3. We have 6,003. Okay, well that's about the range. In fact, about 4,500 people passed the clock tower on a rainy Tuesday in October. Over 5,000 passed by, well over 5,000 passed by that Wednesday, and then back down to about 4,600 on that Saturday. So, you know, if you were guessing low, you might want to think about your perceptions of the mall. This is the mall on that rainy Tuesday, and you can see that there are a lot of people out on the mall. For example, walking, shopping, perhaps going to work on a Tuesday morning, strolling with their children, right? The next slide is a slide of also that Tuesday in the afternoon. It actually cleared up later in the day, and so it's kind of a nice day at this point. You know, when you look at these slides that I'm showing you, do your own little pedestrian count and just count up how many people are in the picture. We'll come back to that. How many people do you see in this picture right here?
20.
This is a graphical representation of what we saw in those days. I want you to focus on that red line. I think it's red. I'm colorblind, so I'm not sure. 10-6 there. You see that top peak there around lunchtime? You notice that it says that around 900 people passed by the clock tower around lunchtime during 1 hour of activity. Well, just to prove to you that that's not a myth, that that's actually data, that cell right there, 929 people passed between 12 and 1 o'clock on that Wednesday. Over 900 people passed the clock tower on Fulton Mall. It's a lot of people, right? Here's another picture. This is that Wednesday, October 6th. People having lunch on Mariposa Mall. Insert real relevant comment about tasteful or tasteless right here. There's a lot of different things happening on the mall, and people go there for lunch. They go there for business at the various public buildings, and so on. And so here's another shot. Now again, do your little pedestrian count, because the next slide is actually a slide from one of the consultant presentations during the charrette process, where they presented the options that we have available for the mall, and the option that you're going to see presented is the do nothing option that the consultants proposed. And I just want you to notice something about this picture. Just look at it. This is the consultant presentation. Yeah, from what alternate dimension did they take this picture? Right? Seriously. I think there's 2 people here. Either that or it was like 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Right? Okay. So we opened up to the public to guess how many people walk on the mall during an 8-hour period. And that rightmost bar is the median guess. The median guess was 625. Some people guessed 30. Only 1 in 75 guessed over the 4,500, 5,000 mark. Okay? Okay, so the median 625 is way below the reality. There's a little too much going on here, but I'll just tell you that this is showing that when we surveyed people, that during the week there were a lot of people on work commute and personal business, and on Saturday there were a lot more people shopping. But there were a good number of shoppers also on the mall during the week as well. And we surveyed people for a number of things. One was zip code, so about 100 of 157 people that we surveyed came from City of Fresno zips, and about half of them came from the zips just to the south and east of the downtown core. So about a third of the people we surveyed were from right downtown, south and east of the Fulton Mall. Some findings from the looking at home zip and frequency and purpose of visit is if you came from a home zip with a higher income, relatively higher income, you were more likely to be on the mall for work. If you came from a home zip with a relatively low income, you were more likely to be there for personal purposes or to shop. And you're also more likely to go to the Fulton Mall more frequently. This is one of my students surveying somebody on that Saturday in October, and you can see the Downtown Association volunteers doing their cleanup work in the background. There's a lot of different things happening on the mall. People go there for a lot of different reasons. And so, you know, I guess I just like to leave you with the thought. This is another one of my students surveying a man on the mall with some kind of purpose. I'm not sure where he's headed. You know, I think we need to check and double check our facts and check and double check our perceptions of the mall, and then move forward with a level head. Thank you.